We are back. She rises through it. Let's get to the updates. All the goodies right now. Might as well give you the goodies versus making you wait, right? Today, September 18th, I have my first free yoga class. So if you are near or around North Branch, Minnesota, I would love to have you swing on by to the yoga branch in North Branch. I will be teaching at 6:30 p.m. It is a free yoga class, and we're going to end our day with a restorative body led practice that is going to blend some somatic exploration. It also gives the option to flow into Vinyasa. It is a beginner intermediate level class. However, all levels are welcomed. It's a moment to turn inwards, move with curiosity, and choose what feels most supportive for your evening. Especially a long week, our Thursdays can be that turning point of, oh, the weekend's almost here. So I'm here to guide you and lead you into a beautiful movement practice leading into your Friday so you can enter the weekend with clarity and some grounding. So you're able to release whatever was on your heart for the day, reset your nervous system, and just settle into complete balance. So I'm excited for that. I will leave that event link in my show notes to get registered. It is a smaller studio, so preferably if you could register prior, that would be awesome. The link does have a coupon code that you use to be able to get the free class. So that is tonight, September 18th. Second update. Retreat. You guys, we're going to be talking about retreat probably up through November, even though retreat's in October, but there's going to be so much beautiful beginnings in the next month and a half plus. October 17th through the 19th is the Minnesota Women's Weekend Retreat. It is a sacred reset for the women becoming. It is a weekend where the noise just fades, the pace slows down, and you finally find space to breathe. It's that moment your soul has been whispering for, a moment to pause, a moment to reset. And this retreat's an invitation to step away from every day and step into a circle of women that are looking to reset, that are looking to reconnect, and are looking to rise within their lives. With that, our retreat packages, there are 3 different options for your stay. There is a personal bed, a shared bunk bed, and then a shared king bed. That option is perfect for a mom, sister, and friend option. So somebody that you're close with, that you're okay sharing a bed with. But what does your weekend retreat package include? Great question, right? Well, you are going to get some soulful practices led by me, Sydney Jocelyn. We will do yoga, meditation, somatic movement. There are some creative and reflective workshops and spaces that we'll be able to connect in. We are going to be in nature, so it is a beautiful cabin on Izades Golf Course in Onamia, Minnesota. So we are going to connect with nature. You get, obviously, your cozy retreat accommodation, wholesome nourishment, food. All meals are included in this. And then, obviously, a sacred sisterhood circle. And that's going to be filled with laughter, heart-opening conversations, and community connection. I truly hope that you sign up, you get registered to come on this retreat. It is the first of many retreats to come. I'm also working on 2026 retreats, and they will be a longer retreat, 5 to 7 days. But this one is just a short weekend one, kind of to regroup, reground ourselves, and reset before a crazy busy holiday season. So all of that will be in the show notes. What else is update? I don't think there's anything else of an update. Those are kind of my 2 things for updates right now. If you're not on my collective email list, I also highly suggest that you go get on that. That is where you're going to get weekly updates from me. You're going to get a lot of these updates sooner as well. You'll be the first to know when retreats launch, if there's a special workshop happening, especially like our longer ones that are going to be happening most likely in Europe or the Caribbean. You are definitely going to want to know when those launch. So that's my updates for today. I think this podcast, and I guess I'm not sure how it's going to go yet today, we're just going to lead into it, and hopefully I don't go on a million tangents, but you guys like my tangents, right? So let's hop on over and get ready for She Rises Through It. Welcome to She Rises Through It, a space for honest becoming, slow growth, and the unfiltered middle of motherhood, healing, business, and building a life that actually feels good. I'm Sydney, and this podcast is where I reclaim my voice in real time. It's not about doing more, it's about doing it differently. If you're craving real conversations, soulful pauses, and a reminder that you're not alone in the messy becoming, you're in the right place. And just a reminder before we begin, I'm not a medical or mental health professional. Everything shared here is based on my lived experience. Please seek qualified care if you're needing support. You deserve it. You're not behind, you're becoming. Welcome back. Happy Thursday, my beautiful She Rises Through It family. This week is it's going. It is going. Obviously, I record my episodes a couple days early, so it's actually Tuesday for me, but it is Thursday for you. And it's only Tuesday, but I kid you not, this week I am struggling to sleep. I don't know why. At first, I thought maybe it was on Sunday. I had some drinks and I was like, maybe it was because of the alcohol. But then yesterday, Monday, I didn't drink. I did yoga twice yesterday and I still couldn't sleep well. Just couldn't sleep by 4 a.m. I had to get up, go to the bathroom, and then I was up and it sucked. I think sometimes our brains just don't know how to shut off. And I'm struggling with that, even though I'm journaling, I'm doing my devotionals, I'm doing things that light me up. I'm doing my sage, releasing the negative energy, and then the Palo Santo, embracing the positive. And everything's ebbed and flowed perfectly fine. It's just my brain, my clarity is all over right now. I'm also slightly a little bit under the weather, but I don't like putting that to blame. I think it's just sinus stuff and the changes of our weather and allergies. So I don't think it's anything crazy like that. But anywho, it has been a week. I am exhausted. And that's okay. That is completely okay. And I'm down for it, actually. I feel really good about it because there are so many moving parts happening. And yesterday, I was just exhausted and I felt it. I think it was all that congestion kind of happening. I was talking with my husband and I'm like, I just have so much I have to do. And this week's kind of crazy. Yesterday morning I worked and then I went to yoga and then I went physically to work and then I had to pick up our boys early from daycare because daycare closed early. That kind of nixed all my afternoon plans because I totally forgot about it. Mom brained like no other. How do you forget that your kid's daycare is closing early? Granted, all of us actually forgot. So it was a very nice, friendly reminder that our daycare provider gave us. Else my kids would have gone to her dentist appointment with her. Then today I worked for a little bit and then I had to go get my work physical done. So I had to do this whole lifting thing. And I kid you not, I did these activities in a good 2 to 3 inch wedges, 20 squats. I had to do Superman. I had to do a sit up. I had to lift this box filled with 50 pounds 3 times from different locations, all while doing it in wedges. And I pass with flying colors, as well as touching your toes. I touched the floor while being in wedges. I just got good flexibility, guys. I'm going to blame that on yoga because yoga is helping me tune into my body and recognize when my body and my muscles are too tight and when I need to stretch, release, and really dig into my hammies. So for me, it's my hammies, my hips, and my glutes, the hardest parts for me. And they just get so tense and I don't know why. Anywho, that was the last 2 days of the things that needed to be done. Then tomorrow, I have coffee with a friend that I haven't seen for a while. And then I have work. And then I have to edit this podcast because I got to make sure it launches for you guys for today, right? And then Thursday's crazy too. Thursday, I think I finally get a moment to pause, which in reality, I actually don't think I get to pause as much. I'm not going to get much time to pause because I teach my first yoga class. So I'm going to be prepping for that and just really making sure I intentionally hold my energy where I need to hold it so that I can show up for everyone in a positive aspect, especially my first time teaching. And that's a battle in itself. Obviously, the lovely imposter syndrome that comes up of, wow, who are you to teach yoga? But I went to yoga class the other night with Stacy, the owner of the yoga branch. Going through her class, I knew I was in the right spot in the right moment and that I can teach yoga because it is truly about tuning into your mind, body, and soul. It is about turning inwards, connecting with yourselves, and just listening to your body. We push ourselves too much to different poses and extremes, especially like when we weightlift, that we actually can damage our body more. I'm one to attest that. I've done that weightlifting. I threw my back out with Brooks a couple months after I was cleared to work out. I was working out heavy, trying to get back to what I was. My core wasn't what it needed to be at. And then realizing too, like, it's your whole core girdle, right? Like, it's more than just your stomach. It is your obliques, it's your back. Like, there's so much to it. Like, it's the entire frame. So I've been one. I've been one that has, unfortunately, done the things that I shouldn't have done and pushed my body to extremes that I shouldn't have done. However, I'm making sure I'm taking care of it and I'm listening to my body a lot more. I've been honoring my body a lot more too. And society has made us hate our bodies if we're not a certain way. There was also this movement during COVID or whatever that was happening, like Size Matters, or I don't even really remember what it was, but all of women brands about how we should look was accepting everybody and body positivity. And I absolutely agree to that. However, I also agree there should also be a healthy standard. We all shouldn't strive to be this thin, skinny body shape that may not work for our bodies and how we were purposely created. However, our health should be in a very good range. And I think yoga is for everybody and every body because it's really tuning into ourselves. It's really understanding what does our body need versus just push, push, push. That's why I love it. And I love transitioning from strength training to that. And I love strength training. I love the feel on my muscles. That's why I substitute it right now for bar class. I try doing that like 2 to 3 times a week because I am working on my smaller muscles. I can tell too in my core, like I'm gaining a lot more core strength and it's helping me with my balance going into yoga. So, I mean, that has helped me tremendously versus all of the things I have done weightlifting, trying to tone my stomach. And in reality, I need to work on everything inner before I work on the outer. So I don't know where I was going with that. I have no idea where I was going with that, actually. Like, my brain is in overdrive. I think these last few weeks, they're in overdrive, and I have to also get my retreat going for next year. I have slowly been trying to define, okay, where's it going to be? How's it going to be? Who's going to be aligned with me? I have some great connections that I'm going to be working with, but now it's just like puzzle piecing it together and finding that time to actually get that puzzle piece together. Because right now I'm heavily focused on making sure I'm ready for my yoga practice on Thursday, making sure I'm ready for my October retreat. But also in between that, I have to make sure I'm also aligning and setting time for that, right? Because I want to make sure you guys have enough time to register and to get excited to go. I think that's the biggest thing for me, especially like if I'm thinking about my 2026 retreat. My first one I've always thought was going to be in St. Lucia. And there may be one in St. Lucia someday. I don't know when. It could be still next year in 2026. Because when I went through a guided meditation, the first image I saw, and I also saw this in a dream, was the Pitons in St. Lucia. I've gone to St. Lucia once, and to be honest, during that time, that was not my favorite island, but also probably too, I was more in my fun party outgoing stage. But I was at the younger years of my life, in my younger 20s. I think it was my first cruise with my husband, my now husband, and we took a taxi ride through the island to the Pitons, went through the jungle, and then we took a catamaran back, and it was beautiful. But there's something telling me like St. Lucia has a heart and a home for me. So again, that's besides the point, but I got to get that done too, right? I got to get my 2026 retreat launched to give each and every one of you enough time to be able to show up and to come. I don't want you to miss any of these retreats. To be honest, if I could have everybody come on every retreat, I would. And I think too, in this day and age, in the stage of my specific life, turning inward and really listening to what we need and resetting is so powerful and transformational. And I talk with a lot of individuals. I've been making a lot of new connections, and my heart is just open to meet new connections too and just share my story because I have nothing to hide, right? Like I have skeletons in my closet, but I also have good. And all of that has shaped who I am today, and none of it defines who I am. What defines who I am is how I lead with intention every day for myself and my family, and how I want to make an impact on this world. Everything prior is just a learning experience. And we're going to go through these chapters, and the doors are going to close, and then there are new things going to open. But I've been meeting such wonderful individuals. And even today, when I did my physical for work, just talking with the gal that was doing my paperwork and is submitting it back to the school district, she was in awe of me, of everything that I am doing, and that she's in her 50s. And she goes, now you have me thinking of all the things I need to be doing and should be doing. And here's the thing, I'm not here to tell you that, man, you should do your life differently. No, I want to inspire you to take that moment to stop, to pause, to reset, to really tune inward. And we don't give ourselves enough time to do that. One day at the spa for 4 hours does not count. Because I have done that plenty of times and it does not work. I'm just saying, it gives me a nice little refresh, but then I'm back in the chaos all the time. But finally taking that moment to pause and really asking ourselves, man, am I leading the life that I want to lead? And if I left this world, am I going to be grateful that this is my legacy? I mean, that's the biggest question here. And I am so proud of myself, of everything I've been doing. I have had so many new connections. I have had so much breakthrough in my life. It's how I know how to get out of it that has given me such power in my life, and creating boundaries where I'm not running away anymore. It is something that I know my children are going to be extremely proud of, because they are going to see a woman who, and a mother who was in the trenches of life, who had depression, who has anxiety, who had postpartum depression, and found a way out of it, even during the thick of it. And she took her priority and her mental health and her family as number one, versus sucking up everyone else's energy and living my life for everyone else. I instead turned inward and focusing on what's here in my four walls in my home. And how am I proud to be here every day with my kids and every day with my husband? Are there days like things aren't perfect? Absolutely. Gosh, I will never sit here and tell anybody that it's so easy, because it is not. I screamed into a pillow yesterday. Actually, it was more like my blankets on my bed. I screamed into it because I was that overwhelmed. And I got that out. I turned over to my nightstand and I had my devotional books, and I had not done them in the morning. I pulled those out. I read them out loud. I grabbed my sage afterwards, saged our bedroom, and started folding laundry, and my day immediately shifted. Then I got offered to go to yoga, and Jordan was like, should you even be doing that? Like, you just told me you have all this stuff on your mind. You have to get ready for yoga, and you have to get your flyers designed and your podcast recorded. My immediate answer was, yep, I need to go to this yoga tonight. This yoga is actually going to help me with my confidence for Thursday. It's because she, Stacy, who owns the studio that I am renting the space from, is going to be able to see my flow and talk with me through things. And she helped build my confidence, and being able to lean into her and her build my confidence and knowing you can do this totally has set me ready for Thursday. And the biggest thing too, I teach here and I preach on here, the messy middle. I'm not a scripted person. If you force me to script something, it feels very far away from anything. Like it does not align with me. And I just can't live in that aspect. I am gonna show up in the messy middle, and I am gonna roll with it and run with it and let my voice speak how it needs to speak, just like I do on these podcasts. And if it lands with you, it lands with you. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But then it continues to teach me something different for next time and how to change things up. And I think that's the beauty of this journey. It's the beauty of finding the strength that you are worthy, that you are enough, that you are loved, that you are strong, you are beautiful inside and out, and that you can do and will do and are doing anything you put your mind to. And I am just so grateful for this journey. And I'm grateful for my husband in that aspect too. I'm also saying that because this journey continues to bring me closer and closer to him. This week is our wedding anniversary, and we have been married for 3 years. We have been together for 9, but married for 3. And if you think about these last 3 years, we got married in September, and then January after we had our first son, then August, 6 months after our first, well, I guess 8 months you can say, found out we were pregnant with Huxley. And then the next year, Huxley was born in April. In between all of that, we've had a lot of ups and downs, goods and bads, hospital stays, nonstop doctor appointments. And it's been a roller coaster for us. If anybody would ask me, what's your best thing and favorite thing about what happened in the last 3 years of your marriage? I don't know how I would answer that, because it has been an uphill battle, not for our marriage sake, but like my mental health. It's been an uphill battle. Like, you don't picture ever going into your marriage that you're going to be pregnant. And then you're going to have all this self-doubts and worries in your head that people have been saying of why he was marrying me. And you know what? They'll never know the truth. Actually, I'm pretty sure I've shared the truth on here. And just seeing the pictures of the day we actually took our pregnancy test, and we're like, whoa, and how we found out every time. Like, me and drinking and finding out I'm pregnant does not work. Does not work. That's how I find out. If someone asked me that question, legit question, like, what would you say it was the highlight of your last 3 years of marriage? The only thing I know I would say is having Jordan by my side. I say that with so much gratitude and love, because I don't know how I would have made it through the last 3 years without him. He has been so gracious to me, so kind to me, so loving, a pain in my butt at times, and me a pain in his butt, and I know that. I have caused him a lot of pain and heartache, especially our first year when Brooks was born, because he's never seen me that low before. And my postpartum depression hit me very hard because I had expectations of how that delivery was going to go and how that pregnancy was going to go. And it didn't. It threw me for a loop, and I don't even know how to explain it, but Anywho, yeah, I would say it would be him by my side. And knowing that I have a husband that through the goods, through the bads, he will always support me in anything that I do. Even from day one, our first month of dating, I told him everything, everything I laid out. I had nothing in my closet, and he knew. And he accepted me, and I think that's the beauty of our marriage is he accepted me for me, and I accepted him for him, and I love him wholeheartedly, and he loves me as much as we get irritated with each other, and sometimes a lot of times, we like to do a tit for a tat thing, and really, it's just how we deal with our stress, both of us, but we're working on it. He's working on it. I would like actually, no, I'm kind of telling him more, "You need to get out of the house. You need to go do things because you're allowing me to do what I need to do, and you need to go do what you need to do to relieve your stress because you showing up being all sassy and crabby, that ain't gonna do anymore because I can't do that. I need to step away and go scream into a dang blanket and sage my negativity out. So you need to go do something, babe. I love you." But yeah, I am just so incredibly grateful, and especially coming into this year when I started my reset, reconnecting, finding myself and loving myself again. And here's the thing, I look at myself in a mirror now with makeup and without makeup, and I'm like, damn, girl. And I love myself. I have not ever in my life looked in a mirror and said that. I have always judged myself. I have always thought, "You're not skinny enough, like, this doesn't look good on you," especially having my C-section, obviously. I hate the word mom pooch, but that's the word, whatever you wanna call it. I have that, and I'm working on that. I have a scar to show for it, right? To show for my boys. But I have never been able to look into a mirror and love myself wholeheartedly like I have been able to learn and grow in doing the last, man, I would say probably since July. It started in May, but I would say July is when it started getting easier, just wearing what I'm comfortable in wearing and knowing that the person in that mirror, like, my body is beautiful, and this body was given to me by God himself, and he curated me so perfectly that I love myself. That's the beauty of my journey. Is I'm gonna have my good days, I'm gonna have my bad days, I'm gonna look in that mirror and tell myself, "Damn, girl, you look so good today." Even if I'm not wearing makeup. I used to have to wear makeup all the time. We went out on Saturday to a friend's son's 7th birthday party. I showed up with no makeup on because I loved myself so much that I was comfortable doing that. That I was like, "This is okay, I'm perfectly fine," and it felt great too because the sun was hot, I was rubbing my eyes were watering at times, and it felt great. When I know I have makeup on, it frustrates me trying to fix my eye. But it felt great to be able to know I can love myself in my natural state. Anywho, that's this journey though. That's this journey of turning inwards, resetting, reconnecting, grounding ourselves to where we are and where we want to go, and making transformations happen. And it's so dang beautiful. I am so grateful that I have a husband that has understood that I needed it and sees that I needed it too. Especially now, I show up at my part-time job that I absolutely love, and I have heard nothing but amazing things about myself. And I go in there sometimes and I worry, "Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Am I?" Every day somebody says something positive. I'm like, "Oh, oh." And I think it's that change in your life. The moment you do something that really makes you glow in this world, shines so far outwards that it starts brightening up everyone else's world. Anywho, I could go on tangents on this and I could make this episode extremely long because, oh, this is such a beautiful journey. And this is something that like my heart is on. and my heart is in. And I'm just so grateful that I get to share this journey with you. And I'm so grateful that you show up, you listen to my podcast just to hear me in the messy middle and all my tangents that I go on, because sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't. You know what? That's the beauty. That's the beauty of loving where we're at and just speaking up and being authentic, being raw, being vulnerable, and being okay with it. We've been taught to bottle things up, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So I want to end with that today. And I do want to end with, ironically, I have my yoga script out, which was supposed to be my yoga script for a different studio. I tried reading it, and it felt so stale to me. And I'm like, this isn't me. It felt so stale because I am a person that speaks through the heart, and I'm always going to be that way. Me having to write things down when it's not happening is so inauthentic. Anyhow, but I have that out because I do want to end here with a Hawaiian prayer that I learned in Costa Rica, and I had it on my mirror for a while. I write it in my journal at times, and it's something I do resort back to. It's truly the prayer of and practice of compassion and forgiveness. And I like to direct it towards myself because I'm working on myself. You can direct it to yourself, your body, or to someone else, and just simply let it wash over and flood over you and really just give you a warm hug. It's just a good practice and something that I think each and every one of you should try. The prayer is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And typically what I do with it is I'll say, I'm sorry for allowing the negativity seep through. Please forgive me for losing my temper and not seeing the beauty of the slow progress that I'm going through. Thank you for allowing me to be on this journey and on this path and guiding me to a better life and future. I love you wholeheartedly, who you are, and nobody is going to take that shine away from you anymore because everything about you is true grace. You have a heart of gold. You are a breath of fresh air, and you are going to make a change in this world. So that is how I use the prayer myself, is I kind of reflect it on whatever's kind of happening on my daily, what I need to change, X, Y, and Z. But it is, again, the Hawaiian prayer. It's a ho'oponopono. And the words are, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So I want to thank you for showing up to She Rises Through It today in my messy middle and my, I don't know, kind of tangent love story of a week of everything that I'm doing. And I'm always going to let you know that you are not behind. You are becoming. Even if it feels like you are taking forever to get there, enjoy the ride. Take your time because it's all going to work out. You still have to go after what you want to go for. You can't just sit there and hope for one day and keep calm and carry on, right? You still have to make some moves and get things moving and grooving. And you're never going to rise through it alone here. I will be with you. I will be cheering you on. I will be that voice of reason at moments that even in your doubts, I will bring you belief. So you are not behind. You are becoming, and we rise through it together. Until next time, loves. Thank you for being here. If today's episode moved something in you, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram at Sydney Jocelyn. That's where I share daily reflections, creative sparks, and behind the scenes of everything I'm building. You can also explore my work offerings and retreats at sydneyjocelyn.com. You're not behind, you're becoming. And you don't have to do it all alone. We rise through it together.